What separates people who achieve their goals from people who give up? What allows some people to bounce back from failure while others stay down? What makes certain individuals thrive under pressure while others crumble? The answer isn't talent. It's not luck. It's not even circumstances. The answer is mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. It's the set of beliefs you hold about yourself, your abilities, and your potential. And here's what most people don't realize. Your mindset isn't fixed. It's not something you're born with and stuck with forever. It can be built, strengthened, and transformed. Think about your mind like a muscle. If you never exercise it, it stays weak. If you train it consistently, it becomes strong. A strong mindset doesn't mean you never face challenges. It means you face challenges and keep moving forward anyway. Right now, your mindset is either your greatest asset or your biggest limitation. It's either pushing you toward your potential or holding you back from it. The question is, which one is it? Maybe you've noticed patterns in your life. You start things with excitement, but give up when they get hard. You avoid challenges because you're afraid of failure. You compare yourself to others and feel inadequate. You let setbacks define you instead of develop you. These aren't personality flaws. These are symptoms of a mindset that needs strengthening. The good news is you're here, and that means you're ready to change. In the next hour, you're going to learn exactly how to build a strong mindset, not through vague motivation or empty platitudes, but through practical, proven strategies that actually work. We're going to start by understanding what mindset really is and why it matters so much. Then you'll learn the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, and how to shift from one to the other. Next, I'll teach you how to develop mental toughness, the ability to stay strong when everything around you is falling apart. After that, you'll discover how to overcome the fear of failure that stops most people from even trying. And finally, you'll learn how to make a strong mindset permanent through daily practices and habits. This isn't theory. This is based on decades of research in psychology, neuroscience, and peak performance. It's the same mindset framework used by elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and anyone who's achieved something significant. Here's what I need you to understand. Building a strong mindset isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming who you're capable of being. It's about removing the mental barriers that have been holding you back and unleashing the potential that's always been there. You already have everything you need. You just need to train your mind to access it. So take a deep breath and get ready. For the next hour, you're going to transform the way you think. And when your thinking changes, everything changes. Let's build a strong mindset together. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Understanding Mindset. Your mindset is the collection of beliefs, attitudes, and thoughts that shape how you interpret and respond to life. It's your mental framework. It's the operating system running in the background of everything you do. Most people go through life completely unaware of their mindset. They don't realize that the way they think about themselves and the world isn't objective reality. It's a perspective, and perspectives can change. Let me give you a simple example. Two people lose their job on the same day. Same situation, completely different responses. Person A thinks, "This is the worst thing that could happen. I'm a failure. I'll never find another job." Person B thinks, "This is unexpected, but maybe it's an opportunity. I can find something better." Same event, different mindsets, completely different outcomes. Person A spirals into depression and struggles for months. Person B starts networking immediately and lands a better position within weeks. The difference wasn't talent or luck. It was mindset. Your mindset determines three critical things: how you see yourself, how you interpret events, and how you respond to challenges. First, how you see yourself. Do you believe you're capable of growth? Or do you think you're limited to who you are right now? Do you see yourself as someone who can learn new skills? Or do you think your abilities are fixed? This self-perception becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you can grow, you try new things and improve. If you believe you're fixed, you don't even attempt to change. Second, how you interpret events. When something bad happens, do you see it as a permanent disaster or a temporary setback? When you succeed, do you attribute it to luck or to your effort? Your interpretations create your emotional reality. Two people can experience the exact same event and feel completely different based on how they interpret it. Third, how you respond to challenges. Do you avoid difficult situations because you're afraid of failing? Or do you embrace them as opportunities to grow? Do you give up at the first sign of struggle? Or do you persist? Your response pattern determines what you achieve in life. Now, let me introduce you to the most important concept in mindset research: fixed mindset versus growth mindset. This framework comes from Dr. Carol Dweck, a psychologist at Stanford University who spent decades studying achievement and success. Her research revealed that people generally fall into one of two categories. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities, intelligence, and talents are set in stone. You're either smart or you're not. You're either talented or you're not. You're either capable or you're not. This belief leads to a lot of problematic behaviors. If you think your abilities are fixed, then challenges become threats. Why? Because if you fail, it proves you lack ability. So you avoid challenges. You give up easily. You see effort as pointless. You feel threatened by other people's success. People with a growth mindset believe that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Intelligence can be improved. Skills can be learned. Potential can be unlocked. This belief changes everything. If you think you can grow, then challenges become opportunities. Failure becomes feedback. Effort becomes the path to mastery. Other people's success becomes inspiration, not intimidation. Let me give you real examples of how this plays out. Fixed mindset says, "I'm not good at math." Growth mindset says, "I'm not good at math yet, but I can learn." Fixed mindset says, "I failed, so I'm a failure." Growth mindset says, "I failed, so I learned what doesn't work." Fixed mindset says, "This is too hard, I give up." Growth mindset says, "This is hard, so I need to try a different approach." Fixed mindset says, "They're so talented, I could never do that." Growth mindset says, "They're successful because they worked hard. I can work hard too." Do you see the difference? It's not about being unrealistically positive. It's about believing in your capacity to improve. Here's what the research shows. People with a growth mindset achieve more, not because they're smarter or more talented, but because they try more, persist longer, and learn from setbacks instead of being destroyed by them. Now, here's the critical question. Which mindset do you have? Be honest with yourself. When you face a challenge, what's your first thought? When you fail at something, how do you interpret it? When you see someone more successful than you, how do you feel? Most people aren't purely fixed or purely growth. You might have a growth mindset in some areas of life and a fixed mindset in others. Maybe you believe you can improve your career skills, but not your social skills. Maybe you think you can get better at sports, but not at creativity. The good news is this: mindset itself can change. Even if you've spent your whole life with a fixed mindset, you can develop a growth mindset. Your brain is neuroplastic, which means it can form new connections and pathways. You can literally rewire your thinking. So, how do you start shifting from fixed to growth? First, become aware of your fixed mindset triggers. What situations make you think, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough? Notice when that voice shows up. Awareness is always the first step. Second, reframe your internal dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking fixed mindset thoughts, consciously reframe them to growth mindset thoughts. I can't do this becomes I can't do this yet. I'm not smart enough becomes I need to learn more. This is too hard becomes this will take time and effort. Third, focus on process over outcome. Fixed mindset focuses on results. Did I win? Did I look smart? Did I avoid failure? Growth mindset focuses on process. Did I try my best? Did I learn something? Did I improve? When you value the process, you're free to take risks and grow. Fourth, embrace challenges intentionally. Every time you choose to do something difficult, you're training your growth mindset. Every time you avoid discomfort, you're reinforcing fixed mindset patterns. Start small. Take on one challenge this week that scares you a little. Notice how you grow from it. Fifth, change your relationship with failure. This is so important that we're going to spend an entire chapter on it later. But for now, understand this. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Every successful person has failed more than unsuccessful people have even tried. The difference is they didn't let failure stop them. Let me share a powerful story. Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player ever, was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine that. The person who would become the greatest was told he wasn't good enough. But his response was pure growth mindset. He said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. That's a strong mindset. Not because he never failed, but because he failed and kept going. Your mindset right now is the sum of every thought pattern you've practiced for years. It feels automatic because you've repeated these thoughts so many times. But here's the powerful truth. You can create new patterns. You can build new neural pathways. You can develop a mindset that serves you instead of limiting you. Building a strong mindset starts with understanding that you have the capacity to grow, to learn, to improve, and to become more than you are right now. Not someday, not when circumstances are perfect. Right now, starting today, in the next chapter, we're going to take this further. We're going to talk about mental toughness, the ability to stay strong when life gets hard. Because a growth mindset is the foundation, but mental toughness is the structure you build on that foundation. You're ready for this. Let's keep building. Chapter 2. Developing mental toughness. Mental toughness is the ability to stay focused, confident, and in control when everything around you is chaotic, challenging, or uncertain. It's what allows you to keep going when every part of you wants to quit. It's the difference between people who achieve their goals and people who have good intentions but no follow through. Let me be clear, mental toughness is not about being emotionless. It's not about suppressing feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. Mental toughness is about feeling fear, doubt, and discomfort and acting anyway. Think of mental toughness like physical toughness. If you never exercise, your body is weak and gets injured easily. If you train consistently, your body becomes resilient and can handle stress. Your mind works the same way. If you avoid discomfort, your mind stays weak. If you consistently push through challenges, your mind becomes strong. The foundation of mental toughness is something psychologists call stress inoculation. Just like a vaccine exposes you to a small amount of a virus to build immunity, stress inoculation means deliberately exposing yourself to manageable challenges to build mental resilience. Here's how this works in practice. If you never do anything difficult, then when difficulty shows up unexpectedly, which it will, you'll be overwhelmed. But if you regularly do hard things, your tolerance for difficulty increases. Your nervous system learns, we can handle this. Let me give you practical strategies for developing mental toughness. Strategy 1. Embrace discomfort daily. Mental toughness is built through consistent exposure to discomfort. This doesn't mean torturing yourself. It means choosing to do something uncomfortable every single day. Take a cold shower. Have a difficult conversation. Do the workout when you don't feel like it. Wake up early when you want to sleep in. Say no when you want to people please. Each time you choose discomfort, you build mental strength. The key is consistency. One hard thing every day, it compounds. After 30 days, you'll notice you're more resilient. After 6 months, you'll barely recognize who you were before. Strategy 2. Control your focus. Mental toughness isn't about controlling circumstances. It's about controlling your focus within those circumstances. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control where you direct your attention. When something goes wrong, mentally tough people don't waste energy on, "Why is this happening to me?" or "This is unfair." They immediately shift to, "What can I control right now? And what's my next move?" This is a skill you can practice. Every time you face a setback, pause and ask, "What's within my control?" Then focus all your energy there. Let go of everything else. Strategy 3. Develop emotional regulation. Mental toughness requires emotional regulation, the ability to manage your emotions instead of being controlled by them. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means acknowledging what you feel, understanding why you feel it, and choosing how to respond. When you feel anxious before a presentation, acknowledge it. "I feel nervous." Understand it. "I feel nervous because this matters to me." Then choose your response. I can feel nervous and still perform well. Nervousness is just energy. Practice this 3-step process. Acknowledge, understand, choose. It gives you power over your emotional state instead of letting your emotions have power over you. Strategy 4. Build self-discipline. Self-discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the bridge between goals and accomplishment, and it's one of the most important components of mental toughness. Self-discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Start with small commitments. If you say you're going to do something, do it. No exceptions. No negotiations. Make a promise to yourself and keep it. Maybe it's making your bed every morning. Maybe it's reading for 10 minutes every day. Maybe it's working out 3 times a week. Choose something specific, commit to it, and don't break that commitment. Ever. This trains your brain that when you decide something, it happens. Over time, you build trust with yourself. You become someone who follows through. And that identity shift creates unstoppable momentum. Strategy 5. Use pressure as fuel. Most people see pressure as something negative that needs to be avoided. Mentally tough people see pressure as fuel that sharpens performance. The key is reframing. Pressure means something important is happening. Pressure means you're being challenged to grow. Pressure means you're in the arena instead of watching from the sidelines. When you feel pressure, say to yourself, "This pressure means I'm doing something that matters. I'm built for this." That simple reframe changes your physiological response. Instead of shutting down, you rise up. Strategy 6. Develop a resilience ritual. A resilience ritual is a set of actions you take to reset yourself after setbacks. Everyone faces setbacks. The difference is how quickly you recover. Create your personal ritual. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's talking to a trusted friend. Maybe it's a specific breathing exercise. Whatever it is, make it consistent. When something goes wrong, instead of spiraling, activate your ritual. This gives your mind a structured way to process difficulty and return to center. Over time, your recovery time decreases. What used to take days to recover from now takes hours. Let me share a story that illustrates real mental toughness. Admiral William McRaven was a Navy SEAL for 37 years. He wrote about a simple lesson from SEAL training. Every morning, trainees had to make their bed to perfection. If it wasn't perfect, they had to remake it. At first, this seemed pointless, but the lesson was profound. If you make your bed every morning, you've accomplished the first task of the day. It gives you pride and encourages you to do another task and another. By the end of the day, that one task completed will turn into many tasks completed. But more importantly, if you have a terrible day, and you will have terrible days, you come home to a bed that you made. It's a small reminder that you can control something, that you did at least one thing right. That's mental toughness, not grand gestures. Small, consistent actions that build unshakable strength. Now let me address a critical misconception. Mental toughness is not about never asking for help. It's not about isolation or proving you can do everything alone. Real mental toughness includes knowing when to reach out, when to ask for support, and when to admit you need help. Weakness isn't admitting you're struggling. Weakness is pretending you're not struggling and letting it destroy you. Strength is being honest about your challenges and addressing them head on. Mental toughness also isn't about constant intensity. You need recovery. You need rest. You need to recharge. The mentally tough person understands that rest is part of performance, not opposed to it. They work hard and recover fully. Here's what I want you to understand. Mental toughness is built, not born. You're not either tough or not tough. You build toughness through daily decisions. Every time you do the hard thing, you get stronger. Every time you avoid the hard thing, you get weaker. Think about your life right now. Where do you need more mental toughness? Is it in your career, where you avoid difficult conversations or challenges? Is it in your health, where you give up when progress is slow? Is it in relationships, where you avoid vulnerability? Identify one area, just one, and for the next 30 days, deliberately build mental toughness there. Do the uncomfortable thing. Control your focus. Regulate your emotions. Practice self-discipline. Use pressure as fuel. Develop your resilience ritual. 30 days of consistent practice will transform you. You'll look back and barely recognize the person you were when you started. Mental toughness isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's about falling down 7 times and getting up 8. It's about feeling afraid and doing it anyway. It's about being uncertain and taking action regardless. You have more strength than you think. You can handle more than you believe. You're capable of more than you've allowed yourself to imagine. Mental toughness is simply the practice of proving that to yourself, over and over, until it becomes who you are. In the next chapter, we're We're going to address the biggest obstacle to building a strong mindset, the fear of failure. Because you can have all the mental toughness in the world, but if you're paralyzed by fear of failing, you'll never use it. Let's break that fear. Chapter 3. Overcoming the fear of failure. The fear of failure stops more dreams than lack of ability ever will. It's the invisible barrier that keeps talented people from trying, capable people from succeeding, and potential from becoming reality. Think about how many times fear of failure has held you back. How many opportunities you didn't pursue because you were afraid you might not succeed. How many ideas you kept to yourself because you were worried people would judge you. How many risks you didn't take because you couldn't guarantee the outcome. Fear of failure isn't just about being afraid to fail. It's about what failure means to you. For most people, failure feels like evidence of inadequacy. It feels like proof that they're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. So they avoid failure at all costs. And in avoiding failure, they avoid growth, opportunity, and success. But here's the truth. Failure is not your enemy. Fear of failure is. Let me explain the difference between healthy concern and paralyzing fear. Healthy concern makes you prepare, practice, and give your best effort. Paralyzing fear makes you avoid, procrastinate, and play small. One drives growth. The other prevents it. The fear of failure usually comes from 3 core beliefs. Let's examine each one and dismantle it. Belief 1. Failure is permanent. Many people believe that if they fail at something, that failure defines them forever. One bad presentation means they're a bad presenter. One failed business means they're not cut out for entrepreneurship. One rejected application means they're not worthy. This belief is completely false. Failure is an event, not an identity. It's something that happened, not something you are. Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset that changes everything. Every failure is temporary unless you decide it's permanent. You decide if failure is the end of the story or just a chapter. You decide if you learn from it or quit because of it. Belief 2. Failure means you're not good enough. This is the most damaging belief. The idea that failure reveals some fundamental inadequacy in you as a person. Here's the reality. Failure means you tried something difficult. It means you stepped outside your comfort zone. It means you're learning. Those are signs of strength, not weakness. The people who never fail are the people who never try anything challenging. They stay in their comfort zone, do only what they're already good at, and never push their limits. Is that really better than trying and failing? Everyone who has achieved anything significant has failed, multiple times. The difference is they didn't interpret failure as evidence of unworthiness. They interpreted it as part of the process. Belief 3. People will judge you for failing. The fear of judgment is powerful. You're afraid that if you fail, people will think less of you. They'll see you as incompetent or foolish. So you don't try, because at least if you don't try, you can't fail publicly. Here's what you need to understand. Most people are too focused on their own lives to spend much time judging yours. And the people who do judge you harshly for trying and failing, those aren't your people. Their judgment says more about their own fears than about your worth. Meanwhile, the people who matter, the ones living courageously themselves, will respect you for trying. They understand that failure is part of growth. Now let me give you practical strategies for overcoming fear of failure. Strategy 1. Redefine failure. Stop seeing failure as the opposite of success. Start seeing it as part of success. Failure is feedback. It's data. It's information about what doesn't work so you can find what does. When something doesn't go as planned, ask, what did I learn? Not, why am I such a failure? The question you ask determines the answer you get. Strategy 2. Separate results from self-worth. Your worth as a person is not determined by your achievements or failures. You are inherently valuable regardless of outcomes. This can be hard to internalize, especially if you've spent your life believing your value comes from performance. Practice saying, I am worthy whether I succeed or fail. My worth is not on trial. Say it until you believe it, because it's true. Strategy 3. Focus on what you can control. You can't control outcomes. You can't control other people's responses. You can't control circumstances. But you can control your effort, your attitude, and your actions. When you focus on what you can control, preparation, persistence, learning, you take power away from fear. You're no longer at the mercy of results. You're committed to the process regardless of results. Strategy 4. Start small and build confidence. If fear of failure is paralyzing you, start with low-stakes risks. Do something where failure wouldn't be catastrophic. Try a new hobby. Have a slightly uncomfortable conversation. Apply for one stretch opportunity. Each time you try something and survive, whether you succeed or fail, you build evidence that failure isn't fatal. You develop confidence through accumulated experience. Strategy 5. Visualize both success and failure. Most people only visualize success, but that makes failure feel shocking and devastating when it happens. Instead, visualize both possibilities. Imagine succeeding. Feel what that would feel like. Then imagine failing. Really feel it. And then imagine yourself recovering, learning, and trying again. This mental rehearsal reduces the shock of failure and prepares you to handle it constructively. Strategy 6. Embrace the failure resume. Some companies ask job candidates to submit a failure resume, a list of their biggest failures and what they learned. This normalizes failure and highlights growth. Create your own failure resume. List times you failed and what each failure taught you. You'll likely realize that your biggest growth came from your biggest failures. That reframe changes everything. Let me share a powerful story about failure. J.K. Rowling, before Harry Potter made her one of the world's most successful authors, was a single mother living on welfare. She was clinically depressed. Her marriage had failed. She considered herself the biggest failure she knew. But years later, she said, failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to be anything other than what I was and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one arena I believed I truly belonged. Her failure cleared the path to her true success. That's the power of reframing failure. Now, I want to address something important: the difference between fear of failure and fear of success. Some people unconsciously sabotage themselves because success feels dangerous. Success means visibility, responsibility, expectations. Sometimes staying small feels safer. If you recognize this pattern in yourself, ask, what am I really afraid of? Often it's not failure at all. It's succeeding and then having to maintain that success. It's being seen. It's outgrowing your current identity. These fears are valid, but they don't have to control you. Acknowledge them. Understand them. Then choose courage anyway. Here's what building a strong mindset requires: the willingness to fail. not because you want to fail, but because you refuse to let fear of failure stop you from trying. Every successful person has failed more than you've tried. They didn't have less fear. They just acted despite it. They built the muscle of courage through repetition. Each time they felt fear and acted anyway, the muscle got stronger. You can do the same. Starting today, think about something you've been avoiding because you're afraid of failing. What would you attempt if you knew you couldn't fail? Now, what if I told you that you're going to fail sometimes, and that's okay? Would you still try? Your answer to that question determines your future. If you need guaranteed success before you try, you'll never try anything meaningful. If you're willing to fail as part of the process, there's nothing you can't eventually achieve. Fear of failure is natural. It's human, but it doesn't have to be in control. You can feel the fear and choose courage. You can acknowledge the risk and try anyway. You can fail, learn, and keep going. That's what strong mindset people do. Not because they're fearless, because they understand that on the other side of fear is everything they want. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about consistency and discipline, the daily habits that make a strong mindset permanent. Because motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Let's build that discipline. Chapter 4: Building Consistency and Discipline. You can have all the right mindsets, all the mental toughness in the world, and complete freedom from fear of failure, but without consistency and discipline, nothing changes. Because mindset isn't just about how you think, it's about what you do repeatedly. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's what you do when motivation runs out. It's the commitment you keep when no one's watching. And it's the single most important factor in building a strong mindset that lasts. Let me be direct. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you wake up inspired and ready to conquer the world. Other days you can barely get out of bed. If you rely on motivation, you'll be inconsistent. And inconsistent action produces inconsistent results. Discipline means you do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. You show up when you're tired. You work when you're uninspired. You keep going when it would be easier to quit. That's where real transformation happens. Think of discipline like this. Motivation is the spark that starts the fire. Discipline is the fuel that keeps it burning. You need the spark, but you need the fuel even more. Now let me break down how to build genuine discipline that doesn't rely on willpower alone. Principle 1: start smaller than you think. Most people fail at building discipline because they start too big. They try to change everything at once. They commit to working out 2 hours every day, reading 50 pages, eating perfectly, waking up at 5 a.m., and meditating for 30 minutes. This lasts about 3 days before they burn out and quit. Start ridiculously small. Want to build a reading habit? Start with 1 page per day. Want to start exercising? Start with 1 push-up. Want to meditate? Start with 1 minute. The goal isn't the 1 page or the 1 push-up. The goal is showing up consistently. Once showing up becomes automatic, you can increase the difficulty. But first, build the habit of showing up. Principle 2: make it non-negotiable. Discipline requires clear boundaries. You need non-negotiable commitments, things you do no matter what. For example, I work out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. No exceptions. Not, I'll work out when I feel like it. Or, I'll try to work out 3 times this week. Clear commitment. No wiggle room. No negotiation. When something is non-negotiable, you don't waste mental energy debating it. You just do it. This preserves willpower for other decisions. Principle 3: connect to your why. Discipline is easier when you're connected to a compelling reason. Why does this matter? What's at stake? What are you building toward? If your why is strong enough, the how becomes manageable. You'll push through discomfort because you remember why it matters. Without a strong why, you'll quit at the first challenge. Write down your why. Make it specific and emotional. Not, I want to be healthy. Instead, I want to have energy to play with my kids. I want to feel confident in my body. I want to prove to myself I can do hard things. Read your why regularly, especially on the days you don't want to show up. Let it pull you forward. Principle 4. Create environmental support. Discipline is easier when your environment supports your goals. You're fighting against yourself when your environment makes bad choices easy and good choices hard. Design your environment for success. If you want to eat healthier, don't keep junk food in the house. If you want to read more, put books next to your bed and your phone in another room. If you want to work out in the morning, lay out your workout clothes the night before. Remove friction from good habits. Add friction to bad habits. Make the right choice the easy choice. Principle 5. Track and measure. What gets measured gets improved. When you track your consistency, you create accountability and motivation. Use a simple habit tracker. Put an X on your calendar for every day you complete your commitment. Soon you'll have a chain of X's. Your only job is not to break the chain. Tracking makes progress visible. Some days you won't feel like you're making progress, but when you look at your tracker and see 30 days of consistency, you have proof. That proof fuels continued commitment. Principle 6. Focus on systems, not goals. Goals are about results. Systems are about processes. Goals are, I want to lose 20 pounds. Systems are, I eat vegetables with every meal and work out 4 times per week. The problem with goals is you have limited control over them. You can't force your body to lose exactly 20 pounds by a certain date, but you can control your system, your daily actions. Focus on the system. Trust that the results will follow. This removes pressure and builds sustainable discipline. Let me share what true discipline looks like in real life. It's not dramatic. It's not Instagram worthy. It's quiet. It's the person who goes to the gym at 6 a.m. when no one's watching. It's the writer who shows up to write even when they don't feel inspired. It's the entrepreneur who makes sales calls even after hearing 50 rejections. Discipline is unglamorous. It's repetitive. It's boring, honestly, but it's also powerful beyond measure. Here's a story that illustrates this. Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most successful comedians ever, was asked about his secret. He said, I have a calendar. Every day I write a joke. I put a red X on that day. After a few days, you have a chain. Your only job is to not break the chain. That's it. No secret formula. Just showing up every single day. The compound effect of consistent action is miraculous. One day of writing doesn't make you a great writer, but 365 days of writing transforms you completely. Now let me address the hard truth. You will have days where you don't want to show up, where every part of you resists, where it feels impossible. Those days are the most important. Those are the days that actually build discipline. Anyone can show up when they feel motivated. The strong show up especially when they don't feel motivated. When you push through on the hard days, you prove to yourself, I am someone who follows through. I am someone who keeps commitments. I am disciplined. That identity becomes your reality. But let me also say this. Discipline isn't about perfection. You will miss days. You will have setbacks. The difference between people who succeed and people who quit is not that successful people never have setbacks. It's that they don't let setbacks become permanent. They miss one day and get back on track immediately. They don't spiral into, I've already messed up. So what's the point? They recognize one day doesn't erase 30 days of consistency. Get back on track now. Right now? Not tomorrow. Not next Monday. Now. Here's a practical framework for getting back on track after a setback. First, acknowledge without judgment. I missed a day. That's okay. I'm human. Second, identify what caused the setback. Was it lack of planning? Unrealistic expectations? External circumstances? Learn from it. Third, recommit immediately. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect time. Restart now. Let me also address something crucial. Rest is part of discipline, not opposed to it. Discipline includes knowing when to push and when to recover. The disciplined person understands that sustainable performance requires recovery. They work hard and rest fully. They don't confuse burnout with dedication. Real discipline is sustainable. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Think about your life right now. What commitment do you need to make non-negotiable? What habit, if you did it consistently for the next 6 months, would transform your life? Identify it. Start smaller than you think. Make it clear. Connect to your why. Design your environment. Track your progress. Focus on the system. And show up, especially on the days you don't want to. Discipline is freedom. It's freedom from regret. Freedom from the question, what if I had tried? Freedom from being controlled by your feelings. When you have discipline, you trust yourself. You know that if you decide something, it happens. That self-trust is the foundation of a strong mindset. You're capable of so much more than you've shown yourself. You're capable of consistency, dedication, and follow-through. You just need to practice it. Starting today, starting with one small commitment. Build from there. In the final chapter, we're going to bring everything together. We're going to talk about making a strong mindset permanent, integrating everything you've learned into a sustainable lifestyle. This is where transformation becomes permanent. Let's finish strong. Chapter 5. Making it permanent. You now have all the pieces. You understand mindset and the difference between fixed and growth thinking. You've learned how to develop mental toughness and overcome fear of failure. You've discovered how to build consistency and discipline. But knowing isn't enough. You need to make this permanent. The difference between people who transform their lives and people who stay the same isn't knowledge. It's implementation. It's taking what you've learned and living it every single day until it becomes who you are. Let me give you a framework for making a strong mindset permanent. This isn't complicated, but it requires commitment. First, your daily morning practice. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Create a morning routine that strengthens your mindset. This doesn't need to be 2 hours long. Even 15 minutes can change everything. Here's a simple structure. 5 minutes of intentional thought. Review your goals. Visualize success. Remind yourself of your why. 5 minutes of physical movement. Stretch, walk, exercise. Movement changes your state. 5 minutes of learning. Read something that inspires or educates you. This routine programs your mind before the chaos of the day begins. It gives you control and clarity. Second, your mindset checkpoints throughout the day. These are specific moments where you intentionally check in with your thinking. Before important meetings or conversations. During lunch break. Before bed. At each checkpoint, ask, what mindset am I in right now? Am I in growth or fixed mode? Am I mentally tough or avoiding discomfort? Am I letting fear control me or am I choosing courage? These checkpoints keep you aware and allow course correction in real time. Third, your evening reflection practice. Before bed, spend 5 to 10 minutes reviewing your day. What went well? Where did I demonstrate a strong mindset? Where did I struggle? What will I do differently tomorrow? This reflection reinforces positive patterns and helps you learn from mistakes. It's not about judgment. It's about awareness and growth. Fourth, your weekly review. Once a week, take 30 minutes for a deeper review. Are you making progress toward your goals? Are you consistent with your commitments? What patterns are you noticing? What needs to change? This weekly review keeps you aligned with your bigger vision and prevents you from drifting. Now let me address the obstacles you'll face. Because you will face obstacles. Everyone does. The question is, will you be prepared for them? Obstacle 1, motivation fades. You're excited right now. You're ready to change. But in 2 weeks, that excitement will decrease. This is normal. It's not a sign that something's wrong. It's just reality. The solution? Your system, your non-negotiable commitments, your daily practices. These carry you through when motivation is gone. Obstacle 2, life gets busy. Things come up. Emergencies happen. Schedules change. When life gets chaotic, your mindset practices are usually the first thing to go. But these are actually when you need them most. Protect your practices. Treat them like important appointments you can't cancel. If you miss one day, get back on track immediately. Obstacle 3, you'll have setbacks. You'll fall into old patterns. You'll have days where you react with a fixed mindset, where you avoid challenges, where you let fear win. This doesn't mean you've failed. It means you're human. The strong mindset response is, I noticed that. I'll do better next time. Learn from it and move forward. Obstacle 4. People around you might not understand or support your changes. Not everyone will celebrate your growth. Some people might even try to pull you back to who you were. This is their issue, not yours. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Limit time with people who don't. Let me give you a powerful framework for handling setbacks. It's called the reset ritual. When you notice you've fallen into old patterns or broken a commitment, do this. First, pause and acknowledge. I slipped back into fixed mindset thinking, or I avoided that challenge because I was afraid. No judgment, just acknowledgement. Second, forgive yourself. I'm human. I'm learning. This doesn't define me. Third, reconnect to your why. I'm doing this because. Fourth, take one immediate action that aligns with your strong mindset. Make one decision, have one conversation, do one hard thing. This breaks the pattern and restarts your momentum. Now let's talk about measuring real progress. Because progress isn't always obvious. You need to know what to look for. Progress in mindset shows up in these ways. You catch yourself in negative thinking faster. You recover from setbacks quicker. You choose discomfort more often. You speak up when you used to stay quiet. You try things you used to avoid. You persist longer before giving up. You're kinder to yourself when you fail. These are the real measures of a strong mindset. Keep a mindset journal. Once a month, right? How is my thinking different than it was 30 days ago? Where have I shown growth? What challenges did I face, and how did I handle them? This creates a record of your transformation. When you doubt your progress, you can look back and see concrete evidence of change. Let me share something important. Building a strong mindset is not a destination. It's a lifelong practice. You don't arrive at strong mindset and stay there forever. You practice it daily. You strengthen it continually. Even the most mentally strong people have moments of doubt, fear, and struggle. The difference is they have practices and systems that bring them back to center quickly. Think of mindset like physical fitness. If you work out consistently for 6 months, you'll be in great shape. But if you stop working out, you'll lose that fitness. Mindset is the same. You maintain it through consistent practice. The good news? The longer you practice, the more automatic it becomes. The neural pathways get stronger. The behaviors become habits. What once required effort becomes natural. Here's what I want you to do right now. Make a commitment, not a vague intention, a specific commitment. What will you do every day for the next 30 days to build a strong mindset? Maybe it's your morning routine. Maybe it's one daily challenge. Maybe it's a mindset checkpoint practice. Choose one thing. Write it down. Share it with someone. Make it real. Then, just do it. For 30 days. No excuses. No negotiations. Just consistent action. After 30 days, you'll be different. You'll think differently. You'll act differently. You'll see yourself differently. That's when you'll truly believe in your capacity for transformation. Let me tell you what's possible when you fully commit to building a strong mindset. Your relationships improve because you're not defensive or reactive. Your career advances because you take opportunities others avoid. Your health improves because you follow through on your commitments. Your confidence grows because you keep promises to yourself. Your life satisfaction increases because you're living aligned with your values and potential. This isn't fantasy. This is what happens when you consistently apply what you've learned. When you choose growth over comfort. When you build mental toughness through daily discipline. When you face fears instead of avoiding them. When you show up for yourself every single day. You have everything you need right now. You don't need to be smarter, more talented, or luckier. You need to be consistent. You need to practice. You need to choose, again and again, to think and act in ways that strengthen your mindset. The person you're capable of becoming is waiting on the other side of this commitment. The life you want is built through daily choices that align with a strong mindset. Every day is an opportunity to prove to yourself what you're capable of. So here's my final question. Are you ready? Are you ready to stop letting your mindset limit you? Are you ready to build mental toughness? Are you ready to face fears? Are you ready to show up consistently? Are you ready to become who you're capable of being? If the answer is yes, then start today. Start right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Take one action right now that demonstrates your strong mindset. Make one decision. Do one hard thing. Begin. Your mindset shapes your life. Choose to shape your mindset. Build it. Strengthen it. Protect it. Live from it. This is how you transform everything. This is how you build a strong mindset. And this is how you become unstoppable. Thank you for spending this hour with me. Now go make it count. We've covered a lot in the last hour, so let's bring it all together. You started by understanding what your mindset really is, that collection of beliefs, attitudes, and thoughts that shapes your entire reality. You learned that your mindset isn't fixed. It's not something you're born with and stuck with forever. It can be built, strengthened, and transformed. Then you discovered the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Fixed mindset says your abilities are set in stone. Growth mindset says you can develop, improve, and become more through dedication and effort. That one shift in perspective, from "I can't" to "I can't yet," changes everything. Next, you learn how to build mental toughness. Not by suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine, but by feeling fear, doubt, and discomfort, and acting anyway. You discovered 6 practical strategies. Embrace discomfort daily, control your focus, develop emotional regulation, build self-discipline, use pressure as fuel, and create a resilience ritual. Each one builds your capacity to stay strong when life gets hard. Then we tackled the fear of failure. You learned that failure isn't your enemy. Fear of failure is. You dismantled the three core beliefs that keep people paralyzed: that failure is permanent, that it means you're not good enough, and that people will judge you for it. You discovered that failure is just feedback, an event, not an identity, and that every successful person has failed more times than unsuccessful people have even tried. After that, you learned about consistency and discipline. You discovered that motivation is unreliable, but discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You learned 6 principles. Start smaller than you think. Make it non-negotiable. Connect to your why. Create environmental support. Track and measure, and focus on systems, not goals. Small, consistent actions compound into extraordinary results. Finally, you learned how to make a strong mindset permanent. Through daily morning practices, mindset checkpoints, evening reflections, and weekly reviews. You learned how to handle obstacles, navigate setbacks, and measure real progress. You discovered that building a strong mindset isn't a destination, it's a lifelong practice. But here's what I really want you to remember. You have more power than you think. The voice inside your head, the beliefs you hold about yourself, the way you interpret what happens to you, these aren't fixed. They're choices. Every single day, you're choosing your mindset, whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you choosing consciously or unconsciously? Starting today, you can choose consciously. You can choose to see challenges as opportunities instead of threats. You can choose to view failure as feedback instead of evidence of inadequacy. You can choose to do the hard thing even when you don't feel like it. You can choose to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. These choices, made consistently over time, create an unshakable foundation. They build a mindset that serves you instead of limiting you. Think about where you were an hour ago compared to where you are now. An hour ago, maybe you didn't fully understand why some people achieve their goals while others give up. Maybe you didn't realize that mindset is something you can actively build and strengthen. Maybe you felt stuck in patterns you thought you couldn't change. Now you know better. Now you have the knowledge. Now you have the strategies. Now you have a clear path forward. But knowledge without action is just information. It's potential without results. What matters now is what you do next. So here's what I want you to do. Right now, before you move on to the next thing in your day, make one decision, one commitment, one change. Maybe it's committing to your morning mindset routine for the next 30 days. Maybe it's choosing one challenge you've been avoiding and deciding to face it this week. Maybe it's writing down your why and putting it somewhere you'll see every day. Maybe it's simply deciding, I'm done letting fear and doubt control my life. I'm building a strong mindset starting now. Whatever it is, make it specific. Make it real. Make it non-negotiable. Because here's the truth. Everything you want is on the other side of a strong mindset. The confidence to pursue your dreams. The resilience to bounce back from setbacks. The discipline to follow through on your commitments. The courage to take risks. The clarity to make good decisions. The peace that comes from trusting yourself. All of it starts with your mindset. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to wait for the right time or the right circumstances. You just need to start. Start with one thought reframed. Start with one uncomfortable action taken. Start with one day of showing up for yourself. Start small, but start now. Because small, consistent actions, repeated over time, create massive transformation. One day of practice won't change your life, but 30 days will shift something. 90 days will create new patterns. 365 days will make you unrecognizable to who you were when you started. I've seen it happen thousands of times. People who thought they couldn't change, who felt stuck in limiting patterns, who believed their mindset was just the way they are, and then they committed to the process. They practiced the strategies. They showed up consistently, and they transformed. Not overnight, not without struggle, but absolutely, undeniably, permanently. You can be one of those people. You already are, simply by being here, by investing this hour in yourself, by being open to growth. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's someone who's ready to change. So let me leave you with this final thought. Your life up until now has been shaped by the mindset you've had up until now. But your life from this moment forward will be shaped by the mindset you choose from this moment forward. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You're not stuck with the beliefs you've carried. You're not destined to repeat the patterns of your past. You have the power to build a strong mindset. You have the ability to develop mental toughness. You have the courage to face your fears. You have the discipline to show up consistently. You have everything you need. The only question is, will you use it? Will you commit to the practice? Will you choose growth over comfort? Will you build the mindset that creates the life you want? I believe you will. Because you're here. Because you made it to the end. Because something in you knows you're capable of more. Trust that voice. Follow it. Build on it. Your strong mindset journey starts now. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Not when circumstances are perfect. Now, go build your strong mindset. Go prove to yourself what you're capable of. Go create the life you deserve. Thank you for this hour. Now go make every hour after this count. You've got this.